best
I mean,
month of the
period.
year,
Is it the best month of the year? Why is it the best month of the year?
because everyone can wear costumes at the end of the month.
See, okay, we know who the youngest person in the room is, okay? We can all wear costumes at the end of the month. That's what makes October so special.
It's someone's birthday in October.
What? His birthday.
Hey, that might be making it a little.
Ah, yours too. Well, I'm gonna ask him how old he's gonna be. We're just gonna be 21. Are you gonna be 20? How old are you gonna be?
Turning 24.
Turning 24.
Me too.
Joel, I thought you were looking good. I thought you were looking good. All I have to say is I'm glad there wasn't social media around when I was 24. Because I probably would.
No record of it.
No. So, gratitude, let's start. Oh, great, it's not appropriate. I love that. Not all storms come and disrupt our lives, sometimes it's clear path. Very, very, very appropriate. Does any, yes, ma'am.
This is for Kern.
Oh.
So I have a closing, it's not hers. And how many times can we both say, even if it's not ours, we're gonna help you? Core logic is something that lenders pull towards and underwriters do. And it can show a foreclosure or bankruptcy even if it's not on the credit report. That pulled on a client, previous foreclosure. She said, I wasn't on the loan, it's my ex-husband, he could see, divorce, it's great. Getting the divorce decree to prove that you deeded it over to him, he took full ownership. Yeah, the divorce decree, oh, well, my cousin, who's a paralegal, did the divorce. It said we owned and not sharing any real property. So she said, I wasn't on the loan, so he said, I didn't need to do that. And he didn't tell her that she needed to quit claim deed at that time. So I called Kurt, I'm like, okay, we got, number one, you used to be a divorce attorney. Number two, you're a great real estate attorney. Can you look at this with me? She got on the phone. She did pull deed of records, not, you know, we couldn't pull it, but instead, this is the name of the foreclosure attorney. They're in Atlanta. They did the foreclosure in 2018, maybe they can get it to me. So I did the research, got on the phone, and I called them. Spent 3 hours yesterday, called 15 people at the company, leaving voicemails, begging for someone to call me back. Trying to get somebody on the phone. This morning, I get a call and it's like, and I'm on somebody else. I hang up, I get it. This is the girl that I got somehow in Florida. They got in their records, pulled the note from 2018, emailed it to me to prove that she was never on the mortgage, so we can close on it.
Wow. That, everybody, that's big time. That is big time.
So as I called.
Are you exhausted?
Well, she was crying on the phone going, you know, I didn't keep anything, that was 2018, I didn't know how I was gonna prove it, and I was stupid enough to meet my cousin, the paralegal, to do the divorce, and, you know, why did, you know, and anyway, so just know that when something comes up like that, and mortgage company says no, there may be a yes or a way to figure it out, and sometimes it takes a couple of heads and a lot of phone calls and research to figure it out. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Teamwork.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. I mean, our.
Not even on a
everybody
joint
the Email, our company's going. Yep, done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I told them to help me.
That's a big gratitude. Thank you for sharing that. Does anybody else have a gratitude? Oh, good. They're everywhere. I'm gonna go with him in the back, because he's in. Yeah, I am. I'm scared. I apologize, but I'm going with the man in the back.
I'll be short. Real quick, I just wanted to tell you that I go to a lot of, and you guys have probably heard me say this before, and I'm Mark Woodtopper for those that haven't met me before. I go to a lot of offices, you know, different, you know, KWs, so it's long, Remax, all of them. You guys are truly, truly, truly my favorite. You guys are so welcoming. I'm getting more and more calls from this office, from agents, you know, to help. And you just don't know how much.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, really do, really don't.
Thank you, guys. It's very related to business. I think we're all finding that out. It's from the stage real estate making it a transactional business, and it's not. It's
No,
all about relationship. If I have a good relationship with you, I'm gonna call you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing that. That, yeah, I think y'all are very hard to talk to cultivate that whole, so thank you for that. I don't know, now we gotta talk together. Yeah.
Nothing to do with work. Thank you.
Oh, I have one more thing. So
So I went to LSU on Thursday and I am grateful because we were the last flight out on Thursday. Because that was the storm. That was the big storm. And, we almost didn't, there were 2 delays.
Tell her why you were going to Louisiana.
I was going to Louisiana to see my daughter who is there at LSU. It was family weekend. And when you've got an 83-year-old mom who really is very sick, it's a blessing to go.
Deep breath, deep breath.
That is the gratitude, nothing about work. It's just, that's why we all work so hard. We all work so hard for something. We don't get out of bed and think, okay, how can another agent be rude to me today? No. But we live for that. Yeah, we do.
Yeah. We love that. We love that.
So, but yeah, so to get, me and Money out there, and I've got to tell you, I used to be an air traffic controller, and so I know the backside of it all. And my mom, I'm white knuckling it on the head, pressed in front. And others are too, because we're going like this, trying to get up and out of the chaos. And you can see the runway. And the storm, and the captain is just saying, as we get up to 5,000 feet, he's going brace, brace, brace. And we're like, okay. My mom, 83-year-old sickie, is laughing her head off. Like a banshee, and it is laughing her head off like a banshee. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? She's like, yeah. We're about to die, but yes.
Yeah, mother is a lot like Sienna. I just put that out there, so.
That gratitude is fun in the middle of the storm. And, he made a lot of people laugh too, because they were
great.
She did,
You had to send me some pictures. I was like, your mom looks so good.
yeah.
She's really happy to be there.
So, there you go, that's my.
Grateful for that. Anybody else have gratitude?
I have a couple of big gratitudes.
Oh,
I do. I'm grateful for Fiona for doing
Absolutely.
a attack today. Even though she had all the stuff this weekend, I'm grateful for Shannon, Stephanie, Juan, Tom, Virginia, Debbie, Sally, and Megan being here, who are in their newer years of real estate, right? And for being here and being engaged. And I'm especially thankful to Stephanie because she has a great idea for cold calling coming up. So
I love it.
look out for that, and that was all her ideas. So thank you guys. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Raven. We're just excited to have Stephanie in general. She came over from C21 and we're just thrilled
Thank you.
that you are here.
I am thrilled to be here. That is something that I am grateful for,
Aye.
to be a part of this office. Thank you.
We're grateful for you. We truly are. So, hey, Donna, saw you coming back. All right, lots of gratitude. That's a great way to start the morning. Who is this guy? Who's this handsome guy up on the screen? That's Joel. Joel, thank you for lunch, Joel, first of all. Secondly, Joel just saved my friend this morning. I have a friend that has some interesting medical things going on with his son, and his insurance has not been cutting it. And it's been very frustrating, and we kept telling him to call Joel, call Joel, call Joel. And they finally got together, and of course, Joel strolled in and said, I was able to get him what he needed. I've never known Joel not to be able to get somebody what they needed. So can you come up and tell us a little bit about that, Mr. Colburn? Yay! And for those of you who do not know, Joel is an agent in our office, and this is something that Joel does out of some circumstances that occurred in his life, and he is dedicated to helping other people navigate this medical mess that we've got going on. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll do it more too. When I first started here at Color, he switched my family over to Great Plans and saved up a lot of money.
It really is amazing. It really is amazing the things that you can do. So, go ahead. Come on up here. Hey.
Is it your birthday coming up?
I don't even know, not my birthday. I mean, it's not.
Mine's in March.
Your husband's?
And they're,
There's something there's something in your, John, right? There's something in your,
Now
in
you're
your,
just showing off.
in your folder. Make sure you give it, make sure you get it for him. Okay, so my name's Joel Fulgham. I'm one of the commercial guys, here at KW and bro, what's your name again in the back? Top turf?
Mark,
Mark,
Martin,
Martin.
Martin.
Martin. Sorry, guys, man. Chemo left me with some bad ears, and I'm told by my doctor, makes me lucky because I don't have to listen to a lot of things. I completely agree with everything you said, my friend. I've been on this earth a bit more than 24 years. In fact, I'm gonna celebrate my 35th anniversary, my 24th, on the next time I celebrate. And this is truly the most special place I've ever worked at, and I love calling it my home. So thank you for everyone for making it special. I do what I do because it's the one thing I get to do in life that makes me feel better about being me. I do a pretty good amount of commercial real estate. But I sell these, you know, when you hit the commercial sector, it's the numbers a little larger, the closings are longer to get to, and so our due diligence, and there's a lot more pitfalls. But at the end of the day, he closed a big deal. Mrs. Joel, she's really happy about it. And for me, it's good for a day or two, but helping someone, one of your colleagues, helping someone you've never met before to unwind the most complicated quagmire that touches every single person you know, and that's healthcare. It's just a very difficult process. And it's the most rewarding thing I do. So to get a call from you or a friend or.
My brother too. My
Yeah.
brother and my best friend.
Yeah, I'm still working with your brother out in Texas. To get a call, I will literally drop everything I'm doing to get that squared away because it's such a special thing. So I'm with a company called Health Options USA. I've been there for about 8 years, I guess. Got into it for various reasons, personal reasons, but my best friend is the founder of the company, and we both had the same cancer years apart. But they began this company for very benevolent reasons. They were helping seniors in Florida unwind what unscrupulous insurance agents did to their Medicare, meaning signing them up for things that they really don't need. And every time you can sign them up for something, and for every dollar you can convince an old person to sign up for, the agent gets 22%. And those monies typically come out of their fixed income, their Social Security. So their mission, it just kind of ramped up, was just to go in and help unwind that. And for every time they didn't make any money unwinding it, but they were able to put those dollars back into the Social Security checks of the beneficiary. So it was kind of a big deal. And when he approached me 2 years after my journey with cancer and said, you need to go back to Georgia, he lives in South Florida. So you go back to Georgia and complement your real estate license with an insurance license because you have the innate ability to approach anyone anytime over anything. But you certainly love helping people. I used to be my friend's boss for many, many years in a very large company. So anyway, Health Options USA, that's who we are. We handle literally on a monthly basis about 18,000 lives that we're responsible for. There's only about 30 of us. We take it very seriously. But remember, I make my living selling, leasing, and buying commercial real estate. How's it go, honey? Is it, no?
Go the other way. Oh, good Lord, now you broke it, Joel.
How you doing?
We're asking you we want to trust our lives with you.
So I'm going to run through this. Not a lot of time on it. I won't. You'll fall asleep. I will tell you that this year, Georgia is doing something that no other state's done. We're having our own internal exchange called Georgia Access. So for those in this room who I've worked with, you've all received an email at some point as we were going through looking at your options, your health plan options. And it came from a company or a website called Health Sherpa. That's what agents use to navigate the healthcare plans, because the one place you don't want to end up is healthcare.gov. It's so confusing. It takes 10 times longer. Well, we're still going to be using Health Sherpa, but Georgia said they didn't want to be on healthcare.gov either. They wanted the people of Georgia to go through their own Georgia exchange. The problem that it's not gonna work. Other states have tried it, it never worked. We tried it last year, it didn't work. This year just said, we're doing it. So I spent 6 hours in CE, trying to get myself certified for it. Is it left or right? Okay, got it. Okay. So the ACA, you've heard it called Obamacare or marketplace, insurance marketplace plan. ACA, Affordable Health Care Act, signed into law, President Obama, 2011. It changed the way healthcare is administered or selected or enrolled for everyone in the country that is not a part of a group plan. So another big thing it did was it extinguished the PPO. There's no such thing as PPO for private citizens. If you belong to a company, you get group, that's going to be a PPO. If not, you're on an HMO, it's health managed organization. That means whatever plan you select is going to be an HMO. B, whatever doctor you need to see needs to be in network, or your insurance just doesn't work. It's just there, then you're paying for it. Covers like 60 million Americans. The first time I did this meeting 3 years ago, it was 20 million. So it's just imploded and got so much bigger. Cool thing that you get with an ACA plan, you really are guaranteed this with the PPO, but all ACA HMO plans, you get free preventative care. And I spend a lot of time going through the list of things that you get absolutely free. That means annual exams, wellness care. And that's a list of, I don't even understand it. A lot of big words. For us guys, everyone, guys and gals, colorectal screening. If you're on an ACA plan and a doctor says you need to get a colonoscopy, and you end up over at Wellstar, just don't use your real name. My wife will be doing it, by the way. That's what she does over there. There are no such thing as a pre-existing condition. So for example, your friend Tom has a pre-existing condition. He's enrolled in an ACA plan as of this morning. We enrolled him last night, it's effective this morning, and he can go to any doctor he wants in his network, and his insurance will pay for that. Maternity, home baby care, prescriptions, immunizations, which are kind of a big deal these days. All those things are free, which is kind of cool. Another real big deal is this line right here, 89% of Americans cost sharing subsidy. What does that mean? I like to call it a tax credit, but based on your income and any agent who is new to this business, you're trying to cut your teeth and accomplish the financial goals, but you're not there yet. If you make less than $30,000-$40,000 a year, you're not going to pay anything for a healthcare plan. It's going to be free. Federal government's going to take care of all of it.
He's not lying, y'all.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
That's a real thing. I know it sounds unbelievable, but it's a real thing.
It's a real thing for probably 95% of everyone I speak with when we roll. It's 100% free.
No
If
reason
their
to
income
be.
is below that threshold, the tax credit, they get pays for the whole thing, and it says 89%, but in this room, if everyone in this room called me in the next 24 hours, only 1 or 2 of you would have to pay for your plan, the rest of you would be free. It really is almost that, I would look at 98% get a full subsidy.
Nobody should not have health care now.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's kind of a big deal. No one should walk out of here without a plan, or at least leave the office. The subsidies, here's an example of it. Family of 4 living in Fulton County with income of $100,000. Not bad, a family of 4, but you'll qualify for around $1,200 a month that goes towards your premiums, leaving you with about a $200 premium. Just for a family of 4. It's a big deal. One of the reasons I do this is because no one understands how this works. Again, all plans are HMOs. You got to stay in the sandbox. Stay in your sandbox. Don't go play in someone else's sandbox. Any questions, by the way? We're good? Okay. There's a few more, but you got Aetna, Blue Cross, CareSource, Cigna, Oscar. Oscar is a big one. Who's ever heard of Oscar Health? Right? That's like, no one's ever heard of this company. I bought their stock, by the way, at $4.50 last May. And we're $25 a share right now. They're killing it. I was just at an Oscar meeting down in the perimeter last week. I was blown away. So this is kind of one of those weird deals, but those who don't have a plan, just because you don't feel like it, maybe you're 24, maybe you don't think you need it. Maybe you're, I was 24, I was bulletproof when I was 24. I'll jump out of airplanes, I'll fly in airplanes, I'll do it. But it happens almost weekly. Someone calls me and says, Joe, I need a dental plan. I said, you need a dental plan. What about your health? No, my health is good. I said, I got a bad tooth. It's not the way it works. Good luck with that. You don't want to wait around car insurance. You're not gonna be able to buy it after you have the accident. You're not gonna be able to get, you can get health care when you're ill, but you will have to wait like a full month. And when you're ill, waiting a full month may not cut it. So it's not something you want to sit on too long. If you don't have a plan or understand how it works, call me. I'll help you do it. Well, we'll figure it out. So I'll be here. The open enrollment period, by the way, that starts November 1. So open enrollment 2025, November 1 through, and I got the dates in here, through December 15th for 2025. Another big one, there is no free lunch in health insurance. Plans, healthcare plans are based on metal, bronze, silver, gold. Okay, and a bronze lower value metal has a much lower premium, but the cost of care is higher. Your deductibles are higher. Your max out of pockets are higher. Your co-pays are going to be higher, but you pay less to have a bronze plan. Silver is the best, as far as I'm concerned, for everyone to get a silver, because you're going to have a little bit higher premium, but you're going to have much lower deductibles, much lower max out of pockets. Golds, really depends who you are, where you are, what kind of money you make. But that's kind of how it breaks down. But there is no free lunch for it. There's free lunch here for everybody. Enjoy it, but not here. Another interesting point. If you have a chronic condition, if you have diabetes, if you have a heart condition, if you have something that you're having to manage on a daily basis, monthly basis, you might be better paying a higher premium and getting your stop losses a little lower, your deductibles and your maximum out of pockets, getting those lower by paying a little bit. Sometimes it's $150 a month. Sometimes it's $1.50. And that's what I help you figure out, because what happens, you get caught in the trap if you go with this alone, you key in your first name, you key in your birth date, your zip code, and your income. Your income, you'll always get wrong. You'll always put down. Speak with me and I'll help you get to there, because it's adjusted gross. It's not what you make. And in real estate, I got to tell agents, man, I'm not your coach. I'm not your real estate coach. I don't care how much you want to make. Where are you year to date, right? And then how much of that are we gonna be able to buy? So it's adjusted gross. Let's see here. Where am I at here? Okay, this is on here. Here's where I invite the conversation. If you meet any, and by the way, this is just for you in this room. This is for anyone who might be listening. This is for anyone you know, any one of your family members, friends, brothers in Texas. I'm happy to, I'm licensed in Texas, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, Kentucky at this point. But if you don't have a plan, call me. I'll help you get one. If you're losing coverage because maybe you changed jobs, there's a variety of reasons. Maybe you've relocated, maybe you've, there's a what I call domestic reorganization in play, divorce. All right. Mom was a domestic reorganization. If you turn 26 and you get kicked out of mom and dad's plan, call me. I'll get it figured out. If you're turning 65, anytime in the next year, or you know someone's turning 65, call me, because Medicare is the thing I love doing more than anything. If you're on Cobra, a lot of reasons to be on Cobra, but there's a lot of reasons to get off it. Even though you're probably tied to a PPO, you're paying 3 times the amount you should be paying for healthcare plan. Call me, we'll figure it out. If you need one dental vision, I'll do that too, but it'll never be a part of a marketplace. They've got plenty of marketplace plans and none of them will work. So just call me, we'll figure it out. If you or your dependents have been dropped or denied Medicaid, that's been a big deal in 2023 and 4. Medicaid rolls, the rolls of, they've got frozen during COVID and they stayed frozen for 2 or 3 years. So some people, their children were on it, but as soon as 23 hit, they, got the wheels turning back in the courthouse, back in DHS. They've now flushed the pipes and kicked a lot of people off Medicaid. And moms and dads whose children were part of it are no longer. Call me, we'll figure it out. Don't do it by yourself. Me, there's hundreds of me's out there, but I'm happy to do it. You're gonna key in your, that's what I was gonna say, you're keying your name and your birthday and your income. This is where I got sidetracked. And it's gonna say, congratulations, Jim, you qualify for 210 plans. Where do you go with that? Because they're all different and they all speak languages we're not trained to understand. So I can help you flush the pipes on that and get that down to 3, 4, 5 plans to look at, and we can decide which one's better, without having to try to sit through 220 plans. So going it alone, you're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna put in a too high income, which means you're gonna pay too high the premium, and you're gonna end up, invariably, this is what happens, you end up premium shopping. How much do I really wanna pay, right? And again, sometimes I have most of the agents in this office who are enrolled pay zero, vast majority. But I've got some that pay 38 cents a month. I mean, and paying that extra 38 cents a month out in the silver plan version. Open enrollment 2025, November 1st through December 15th to January 1, and then up through January 15th for February 1st. So you go to January 15th, but you don't want to wait that long. You want to get this done by December 15th. So it starts January 1. There are ways you can enroll outside of open enrollment. If you have what's called a qualified life event, if you have a child, if you relocate, change job, domestic reorganization, any of those things lose coverage for whatever reason. You got a qualified life event, and I can enroll you. Call me. I'd love to talk to you about it. I'd love to help. Day or night doesn't really matter to me. I'm 59, man. I work from the phone ring, so I'm happy to go. Hey, Dan.
Okay.
Lee Artist.
Yeah, we call them the artist, we get like insurance, and you know, that's my real name.
Lee Artist.
Okay, so anyway, Joel, truly, and with health insurance, I have pre-existing conditions. Health insurance is super important to me, and I've been independent for 20 years. So I was the poster child for a while ago. Joel truly does it. This is your ministry, okay? This is how you do that. This is not a money-making thing for Joel. He sat for me and compared to, I'm pretty insurance savvy because, like I said, I do it a lot. But there's one thing that as a real estate agent, our income fluctuates. And keep it to your advantage. If I look at it and I'm going, I do not know if it's going to be a $3,000 a year or a $50,000 a year. But I've been in this business long enough to know it can go either way. So I would go to the bottom, and if I have a blessed year, fine, hit me with your tax credit at the end of the year, I don't care. Okay, but right now, give me, whatever, I don't even know what my premium is, 30, 80, I don't know. It's manageable, and you helped me pick out, and it's funny, because I go, oh, that needs to be better, gold better. No, it was silver, because I've never paid silver back in old. I mean, silver, but it wasn't really silver. And it cost less, but actually you showed me, because it's all about out of pocket at the end of the day.
Yes.
Not the monthly premium, not the deductible. You have to look at the whole thing, and you help do that because I wouldn't do it. So, hey, yeah.
And you're with Kaiser.
Yeah.
They don't even, if I help someone, I may get a
I don't know.
$18 or $23 stock. I'll make some, for,
I figured out you're not in it for the money when you told me.
and I get paid nothing from
You
Kaiser.
were saying it makes sense. I mean, wow, it's
Yeah.
0%
There's
zero.
absolutely no reason anyone in this room should not have health insurance.
Or anyone you know,
I agree.
yes, ma'am.
We thought about coming to see you before, but I wasn't sure whether to.
If I had a nickel every time the girl said that to me,
Oh, yeah.
if I had a nickel.
Oh, here we go.
Luckily through my husband's job, but that was from New York. And when we came over here, he's still working for the same company. And I noticed that I think I had made a lot more payments. And I don't know whether our coverage changed. And I tried to read it and that thing, it's so complicated even. Is that a possibility? Like, do I have to supplement it because now we're not covered by New York, standard? I don't know, does it change across state or no?
No, do you still have the group plan with your husband's?
I mean, it's with.
Okay. Well, but you bring up a good point. I hear, Yeah, my job opposite, but it's, it's up to $800 a month or something. It's so expensive. There is a rule, and it's funny because it's based off affordability. The Affordable Health Care Act stipulates that if your job offers you coverage, then that is your primary. However, if that coverage costs more than 10% of your annual income, it's no longer deemed affordable, and that permits you to go to the ACA. So, yeah, we could look at it, but, sometimes it's worth hanging on to what you got because it's probably going to be a PPO. PPO means you can go to any doctor anywhere in the country for whatever reason you want. You don't need a referral, you just go. HMO means we got some handcuffs on us, but as long as we play in the same box, we're good. So good
I
question.
just want to say real quick that Joel, I think one of the big things he helped me with was that when my husband had a job that, had insurance and then he went off on his own, I was on my own. So all of a sudden we're trying to find insurance, and a big thing to me was trying to keep some of my same doctors. If you try to go on a healthcare.gov and figure that out, forget it. You'll never find your doctors. You'll never. And I think that was huge, which is me like, okay, and yes, we pay a little more for a different plan, but we didn't have to find new doctors for the kids and breast and this and that and then do, and yeah, because I realized like if I had to find all new doctors, we just won't go.
Yeah.
It's too much of a pain. So I think that was another big thing that you did.
I love doing this, man. I absolutely love doing it because it touches everyone some kind of way. So I'm just here to help. So
Thank you.
I welcome the phone call. I'm gone. I welcome the phone call. And I'm here, I'm in the office 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, back left corner. Text me, call me, email me, come knock on my door.
Thank you, Joel.
Thank you.
And thank you for lunch. Thank you. We appreciate it. He has supported this office. He has a lot in many different ways. We're very thankful for Joel. Hey,
Good morning.
come on up, tell us what's going on in the mortgage world.
We've got Tammy here too, but she's in her office. She is doing a rush closing for the month, so I think I can stay there and I got this. The onward 6, you get it. Bottom line is everyone, they have to watch the employment numbers on Friday. Those are gonna be big. If the Fed moves November and December, the market's already probably gonna be ready for it. We're staying below in the low 6s. If once someone has good credit and pays 3/4 or 1 point, they can get in the 5s. Rates are good. They're as good as they were 2 years ago. So what did we say before? If you had anyone 2 years ago that purchased a home, they won't have capital gains now if they sell, and they're going to be at the same rate on the next house. So it's not as painful as it would have been when we were in the 7s and 8s. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, y'all can read this, you'll know it, but just know you're watching so many things. What's China doing about their financial situation? What are the employments? CPI, all of these numbers are just continuously coming out. What's Powell saying? The market, stock market and bond market, they're going to be watching and listening to where are we in inflation? Are we keeping it intact? That's going to be the key. So there's a lot. Besides, everyone's like, well, November, they're going to lower the rate. That's the Fed rate. And just like this time, the market's going to guess now, stock market and bond market, on what's going to happen in the election and what's going to happen in November. Talked to a couple of agents. They said people are kind of waiting right now because of the election. It's kind of normal, kind of standard. That's not a big deal. People that are uncertain and want to see what happens and then decide that's just normal. That's just normal. So don't let that discount you. Again, find out what reason they have. If they have a reason, what's their rate and what's their payment that makes sense, and just be ready with your information that you have on them to be able to say, hey, saw the rates drop again, get closer to where you want to be. Maybe it's time. And that's what we're doing with our clients. We've got a database. And we're watching, are they pulling listings on Zillow? Have they pulled their mortgage payoff recently? We're watching that and trying to stay on top of it also. I do have a personal request. What? Don't do it. What is it? You need water? It's okay.
Just tell us.
Shoot, I didn't think I was good.
It's okay, just okay.
Take a deep breath.
Yeah. So.
I could do it.
You can do it.
My daughter has an interview at noon. Some of you know about my daughter. So what I'm asking is, everyone, whether you believe in prayer, happy thoughts, happy vibes. This is, all of us come in together as one. I'm not praying she gets a job. I'm praying God will either give it to her or shut the door and open the next door.
Right.
And it really is a big deal. So that's it.
Done. Done. Thank you for asking.
They mean a lot. Don't mean a lot. You're my work family.
Kathy, what's your daughter's first name?
Kristen.
Thank
And I'm
you.
not gonna walk down and call her, she texted me, but, I told her I was gonna do that. She used to be an agent here.
Yep.
She worked on Robin.
Part of our family.
Yeah.
It's part of our family. Okay, happy thoughts as well, y'all. Mr. Kern?
Have your plan to go out in the comment.
Looking like the seventies. Came back. I'm coming to door this morning. I love it. I did great decade era. She's always amazing. All right. First Fiona, now Kathy, and then I gotta stand up. It's an emotional day. Yeah, so to me, all business is personal, right? I appreciate y'all. Especially, we become friends, right? So yeah, a lot of y'all know and asked, and my dad lives in Apalachicola, would not leave. Have no idea where I get the stubbornness from. And then I'm from Valdosta, which got hit pretty hard, thankfully. My friends and family were all okay. But I care, right? It makes a difference. And who you're in business with, your clients. I had a fella in closing that had a very difficult mother-in-law, had dementia, title things that we had to work through that came to my office. Well, lo and behold, he's from Port St. Joe, which is right by Apalachicola, and we got to talking. And he was in the day that the hurricane was coming through. And in my room when I was distracted thinking about my dad, and made it an easier day for me. So whatever your clients are struggling with, we care. I care. Our firm cares. If I can't help you on the residential real estate side, it's a commercial, it's a litigation, it's somebody that we need to refer you to for something. We want to take care of you. We want to take care of your clients. So refis are coming back. I'm seeing them on my calendar, and I always just think, it's like not telling somebody you're a real estate agent, right? Like I do it all. I do refis too. I see y'all on the purchase side. But for your clients, you've got somebody asking, if you would, mention us, we would be grateful. Connect them with me. And then for your personal deals too, if we get back into a refi market, I'd love to help you. And I'm teaching class. I'm teaching class next Wednesday, the 9th. On? At 10 to 11. And I'm doing a whole series on like common things, issues. We talked about looking at the actual tax records last month. So come to my class. Come to her class. We won't live with that. Come to her class. Thank you. Thank you for helping promote the culture in this office. We appreciate you. I didn't see Miss Kelly or Miss Tammy in the audience, and I don't think I saw Chandler today either, so. Do you want to talk about?
Yeah, so we actually have, goodness gracious, this is the emotional.
This is the emotional.
Do it. I'm a boy mom. You can do it. You're not getting me today. Guys, as you know, there was a bunch of, there's a bunch of places that were hit hard by the local hurricane, including some of our own fellow KW agents and CLG, GLG members, right?
Asheville.
So we have some great ways that GLG leadership has put together that you guys can get involved. You can send out the smart plan from Sam that he sent out to the office. It's in command that you can send out to your database. It's a great touch to help give back, right? You can donate yourself using the QR code that we're gonna have up on the screen, or you can participate in a silent auction that GLG is having with coaching opportunities with Andy and Leslie. One-on-one coaching. Marty Miller's also giving coaching calls on there, and, I'm sorry. Sam Jackson as well, so definitely check it out because there's a bunch of different options in there, and this is one-on-one, so these usually cost thousands and thousands of dollars, and they're giving away full months of coaching. So definitely check them out. I have a little video on here from Sam for all of you guys.
Good morning, Carolina Legacy Group and Georgia Legacy Group family. It's been a tough week. I know that we're all seeing the devastation of Hurricane Helene, and that's why it's really important to us as a leadership group. We got together this morning and we came up with a goal of raising $20,000 through our legacy group. And it's a big goal, and it's still probably not enough for the impact that Hurricane Helene has had on our family inside of the KW world, not only just inside of Carolinas, but also throughout Georgia and Florida as well. And with a heavy heart, I'm asking for help. We've put together a smart plan as one of our strategies that if you don't mind doing this, we would love for you to reach out to your database. We have 2,700 agents inside of our organization, and imagine the reach that if just you send the smart plan out to just 100 of them asking for donations, we'll be able to hit our goal and to really provide help for those in need right now in the devastation that just occurred. So we've put together a smart plan in hopes that you'll send this out to your database. It's very subtle, nothing very aggressive. We know how tricky it is sometimes to ask for help. And so we've put together a very simple smart plan. It's an email that goes out. There is a phone script if you are willing to make the phone calls out to your database to ask for donations. And then for those of you that are using Twilio, there is also a text message script in there as well. So if you're willing to do this, we'd be really grateful for it. And it would allow us to be able to raise the funds. And again, our goal is to raise at least $20,000 by the end of this week. So I would love to walk you through how to use this if this is something that you're open to. So inside of the Smart Plan library, if you click on Smart Plans here, you'll see your Smart Plans, but what we're going to click on is the library button. And then you can copy and paste this from the email, but the smart plan that we've created says Hurricane Helene KW Cares. You'll notice that this is the one from the Georgia and Carolina Legacy Group. It's authored by me. We created it this morning, Sam Jackson. So if you can, just add this smart plan to your smart plan library by clicking add, and you can name it whatever you want. We're going to download this. To show you what it looks like, we borrowed some resources from KW Cares, but this is an email that will go out designed to put your information at the top. It's Hurricane Helene Relief. We'll insert their first name inside of here from their database, but it's just a really subtle email that goes out that talks about what KW Cares does to give back and where we're at now, asking for those donations with the little link, as well as a conversation or script. I think it's okay to say that in a situation of something that you can kind of follow, that you could read as you kind of call your database if you're willing to do so. There's also a link that you can easily copy and paste and text this to your database. And then for those of you using Twilio, we did exactly that as well, that there is a text message script that you can send out with a direct link. What we're asking for you is to send this to your entire database if you're willing to. This will help us hit our goal of raising $20,000 for those throughout the KW Cares organization to make sure that we can offer more things like cleanup support. But the most important thing is being able to get these generators out to the people who still don't have power. We've seen so many leaders this morning inside of the Carolina Legacy Group, specifically Glenn Kirby and folks like Lisa Williams and all of our heroes inside of the KW Drive Connected and Columbia offices are out there providing the muscle, but this will allow us to raise those funds so that we can offer more generators and more supplies like water and food to help those communities, as well as these individual crisis grants that are needed for our KW family that's impacted. So if you please, with a heavy heart, I'm asking you, please send this smart plan out to your database. And if there's anything I can do today to help you with that, please let me know. And I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, guys. So when I send these slides out today, you'll actually have the opportunity to sign up. You'll see on here that there's the option on. I
That's an email.
Yep.
Things that have gone on. Those generators, y'all, those generators are like $1,000 a piece. And Lisa, my friend Lisa is the TL at the KW Drive. And she, because she's in the GLG group, she said that she was able to unload 100 generators to her agents. She called me crying this morning. She was just so grateful for everything that y'all have done. This is making a huge difference.
Yeah. So there's some ways you guys can get involved. And then we're just gonna take it back for a second here. Because we have a special guest from Up Equity. Andrew, let me just spotlight you real quick. Andrew. Sorry,
Hello.
right past you.
No, thank you very much. And I will say this, I am in the Carolinas, and one of me and my wife's favorite places to go is the Biltmore, and they have no roads in or out. They have to use ATVs to get in and out of that area. Pretty much everything is devastated. So I didn't know you guys were going to be bringing something up like this. Kind of throwing me off a little bit. But thank you for everything you guys are doing, because they really need it.
No, this is the most difficult stuff I can make it do another money.
I just know how bad it is up there. We have several groups that are going up there, my church group and several other of the local lenders and agents that I know putting stuff together. So it is very, very important for, getting things out there, and just that you guys are doing this. I know that Georgia was affected as well, but that you're doing this and you're looking at it as a whole really means a lot to me. So on to, unfortunately, the work stuff. So Up Equity, you probably don't know who we are or what we are. Myself, I am your new partner account executive. You might be familiar with Derek White. He is now with a lender group that does mortgages there in the Georgia area. Nicole is your partner account executive. Think of me as your high level educator to help facilitate the understanding of the program, help you learn how to position this program, because this program is really designed to help clients buy for less and sell for more. So I just wanted you to see our information. I will be sending this deck out so that way everyone has it. But there's three main takeaways I want you to have from this brief 5 minutes. Is one, utilizing our program will unlock more opportunities that you didn't have a chance to before, because you'll be able to take contingent clients, make them either non-contingent or now cash buyers. Secondly, and probably the most important, compared to all the other programs that are in the industry right now, sorry about that, all the other programs that are in the industry, oh my gosh, it won't.
We can still hear you, Andrew.
I'm hanging that up. All the programs in the industry, when the client has their house purchased by that organization, they lose between 20 and 30% of their equity. Our program, even if we have to buy it at that 6-month mark, we will give them back the remaining equity once it's sold. You as the agent are retained on, even though the contract may be past the time for your contract with it, and the client still is in charge or has the power to accept and deny offers. Huge differentiator there. So they never lose out on that return on investment that you've worked so hard for them. And finally, we have a partner portal for you that's a one-stop shop where within 60 seconds, you can submit 5 to 7 pieces of information, get an offer on a client's property, how much equity they can have, and if they're eligible to become a cash buyer. You have all your marketing material directly right there, all the videos that you would want to provide to a client beforehand to get them interested. So what is Up Equity? We are a technology company, not an iBuyer, mortgage company, or real estate company. We help facilitate the bridge from a client's current home to their new home by creating a seamless transaction, allowing them to remove contingencies and access that equity. We all know right now the difficulties. There's rates that go up and things like that, but it's qualifying for the client and the liquidity or having access to that equity. We satisfy both of those because we do place a all cash guaranteed contract on your client's property to unlock the qualification. They only have to qualify for that new home, not the new home plus the old home plus any HELOCs if you're going a different direction. We access up to 85%. That doesn't mean everyone gets 85% of it, but 85% of the home's value. This is about 10 to 15% more than any other organization out there, allowing you to put your clients in the best position possible. We do this with a 3-layered program. We provide that trade up, which is that purchase guarantee, solving the qualification issue. We provide the equity advance as another part of the solution. That is an interest-free bridge loan based upon their equity. And finally, if the client qualifies, you could turn that finance client into a cash buyer. I'm gonna pause there real quick. Think about since the beginning of the year, the number of clients that have not moved forward because of either rates, contingencies, not being able to access enough, or they're not able to compete. You now have a way to go back and within 60 seconds, find out whether or not you have a solution that you can fit and get them off the fence and back into the shopping market. So why do you want to partner with us? And why do you want to use our program? Not all programs are created equal. Buy before you sell or cash. We want to help you on both sides of the transaction. Coming to us before they have a contract on the property and you found out that they're now contingent via submitting their information to a preferred lender, come to us beforehand. Know that we work with some of your preferred lenders already. You'll be able to remove that sales contingency, allowing you to negotiate a better price point on that purchase. Your offers become stronger because a contingent versus a non-contingent or a cash, each one of those additional types of offers are stronger for your client. And with that, you can negotiate a better price point. On the departing home, do me a favor, raise your hand if you like selling a house that has kids in it, clients' old property and stuff, furniture, and kids hanging from chandeliers, and cats, dogs, and pets. If anyone's raising their hand, please let me know. You'll be the first one in 5 years that has raised your hand. We allow you to stage that house property, set aside some money to do the home improvements, so that way it is show ready, turnkey. You can get the greatest investment for that property. It may be the difference from it being on the market for a couple days versus a couple months. When do you want to use us? Because you're able to use this from your desktop, laptop, iPad, or phone, submitting the property, you'll be able to instantaneously find out and work with those clients that you currently have or in the past, whether or not this might work to unlock them to move forward. When you provide this with a client to your preferred lender, you already know how much equity they have access to, and you're removing that sales contingency. This gives your lender the ability to qualify them for more and be able to increase what they're qualified for and reduce the amount of conditions that they may have, because you're now providing that equity to help facilitate down payment, closing costs, and paying off some debt. Finally, how many here like being in contingent offers where you're in a domino and your sale gets affected by someone else? Our program eliminates that. You will not have that any longer, meaning you can now give your clients the peace of mind that their deal will close without it hinged on someone else. Remember, I mentioned that full market value and full value of the return on investment. If we have to buy the home in the 6-month mark here, this is 80 to 85% of the market value. Unlike other companies, this remaining value, once we sell it, you are still the agent kept on record and paid on, and the client still gets to control yes or no on offers. That remaining upside is a second installment check cut to the client once it does sell. We're the only ones that do this. Others take out very large percentages. We just want to make sure that the clients get the full return on investment for their particular home. I will help teach you how to build between 3 and 7% just using our trade up and equity advance, and an additional 2 to 5% using the cash offer program. Our partner portal is a one-stop shop for you. It makes it very easy. Reach out to me so that way I will be able to give you access, walk you through it, and be able to, from there, allow you to be able to submit and get this information in less than 60 seconds. This QR code is a link to my calendar. Put some time on my calendar. I will send this across along with my contact card, which I just dropped into the chat. But I would love to get you going on the portal, which will take you, like I said, less than 60 seconds to set up and less than 60 seconds to submit your first deal. So that way you will have the tools to put your clients in the best position possible. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. And thank you for everything you guys are doing.
Thanks, Andrew. We appreciate it. We have several agents who've actually used them before, and it's a great. They definitely have a niche.
Here, 1 second, we spotlight us, and then I'll let you, it will allow you.
They've been saying you're doing all the temps stuff. I can't even run the clicker and she's got all the stuff going on.
Right, it should be.
We've covered. What's happening? Okay, I was gonna say, we've covered KW here. I'm gonna breeze through these featured events. This is the morning phone call, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You get all these slides in your packet that you get after the meetings. Vendor Appreciation Night, October the 2nd, 5:30 to 7:30. That promises to be a good time. I would be there if I were you. And now, it is time. No, it is not time. It is not yet time for upcoming. On Thursday, October, I love how they have to guide me through this. Thursday, October the 3rd, negotiate your commission, mastery with Fiona Will. State Market, also known as Chart Masters. Y'all, this is the one you want to go to. If you got to pick one other than Fiona's, of course, this is the one you want to go to. October 22nd, right up the road. They will dive deep into the statistics of the market. Winter coat drive, Mel is collecting coats. We need men's coats. Bold is back, written by Gary. New program. If you haven't experienced it before, or if you have experienced it before, promises to be interesting. Bold, we have a rebate program, of course, as we do every year. Now it's time. Am I good now? All right, now it's time for Fiona. And I'm you. This is the ATAC. She's gonna come up and she's gonna talk to us about the ATAC, the amendment to address, if she can walk up here in a straight line. Amendment to address. Give me a, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. It's so good. It's so good to see you. Yes, it's been such a long time. Yes.
We just have some guidance.
Got to sit up here.
For the agenda.
Another thing, just
So that we stay on the agenda.
that. Well, you can. We had such a good response last week with our talk about the NAR settlement and the commissions and everything else. We tried to think about what's something else that we really need to cover. We are getting into some funky ATACs, y'all. Funky, and not just from the co-oping agents. Y'all are very creative, extremely creative. So we don't want to squash your creativity, but we do kind of want to harness it a little bit. So we're going to talk about it today. So. All right, Miss Fiona.
So, okay, that's fine. I thought she'd gone. No, so an ATAC, all right, does everybody know, and some are older seasoned agents, to be polite, and some are brand new, all right? So I think the blessing that we had the last time was that there were a lot of the more seasoned agents who were jumping in and saying, but what if it, you should do this. I still want that to happen, okay? An ATAC, all right, it's the amendment to address concerns. Let's go back to history and then you might understand and have more of a whatever, understanding of just what happened. Way back in the dark ages when I started, as did Donna and a few others, we didn't have such a thing. It was called the amendment to remove inspection contingency. We didn't have the joy of an ATAC where you can basically during due diligence, right? You write the contract, you go binding today. If you're a good agent, you're doing your everything in 5 days still and not doing 21. Why anyone is doing a 21 due diligence is beyond me. 5 days, 7 days. And you can get out if you don't like the color of the toilet seat. You can get out and keep your buyer's earnest money. Everything we do as buyer's agents, and I'll address the sellers in a minute. Everything we do as buyer's agents, from the minute you go binding, and if you're foolish enough that you haven't already had a buyer orientation, shame on you, is to protect your buyer's earnest money. If you lose it, it's coming out of the next commission. We don't fight, I'm just letting you know, we are not allowed to fight with GLG for your commissions. So people have to stop asking. We're not allowed to. Andy is in charge of us. Andy is in charge of you all, and he will not fight for a commission. Why? Because you dropped the ball, is how he sees it. And the other side is if we start fighting in court, even for a $5,000 commission, a $15,000 commission, all of your E&O insurance would shoot through the roof. And if that's what you want, then bring it on, we'll do it. But I don't think you would. People would be leaving left, right, and center because your monthly fees would go up. So we have to protect this earnest money thing. So the ATAC is, just so we all know, is you've got your contract and you go binding today. And then if I went binding today, my time clock starts tomorrow. And I have 5 days. I'm just gonna use that.
Does everybody know that about the way you count your days? Everybody, because that was a big thing for me when I first started, I never could get it right. So
Yeah.
the day that it happens is day 0.
Yeah.
And then the next day is day 1.
Yep.
And it's like that on everything unless specified otherwise in the
And Saturdays and Sundays are included.
Yes, they are.
because we're realtors.
Yes, they are.
We work
We do.
every day.
Every
Every day, every night. Yes, so anyway. So today I go binding. So today I go binding, and today I'm on the phone with the attorneys, with the lender, sending the contract, and the inspector. Now, here's the thing, we can't be steering. So I can't say, hey, Sissy, my husband is an inspector, I really think you should use him.
That's for your own protection, everybody.
Correct. Now, I'm gonna tell Sissy that my husband is an inspector, but I also have to give her another 2. Now, here's the other side of the coin. Do I organize the inspection or does Sissy? Okay, when Sissy organizes the inspection, Sissy will get an email from the inspector saying, hey, we need payment, give us your credit card. But you have to advise Sissy, gone are the days when you pay with a check, which in the dark agents we used to do, pay with a check when you got to the inspection. They now don't do that, clearly. No, you can't pay with cash. So you have to pay with a credit card. If you don't have one, Mrs. Buyer, find one. And you have to pay upfront, but Sissy, you have to advise Sissy, the buyer, to include me, Fiona Jane, now on all correspondence with the inspector. I cannot rely on Sissy because she's a member of the public. She doesn't do this for a living. I do. To give me everything in a timely manner, because what am I protecting as a buyer's agent all the time? Her. Right. So I cannot blame Sissy when she doesn't send me stuff.
And I will say most inspectors, if they're a preferred vendor, somebody who uses regularly, they're going to add, when Cindy calls, and Cindy, who are working, and they're gonna automatically include the documentation too.
Correct, the good one, yes. So the other side of that is you need an ASHI and a CABO certified inspector. It's not your father-in-law from Home Depot aisle free. That does not suffice. You can bring your father-in-law, you can bring your dad, but don't. Right,
Worst inspections I've ever been.
nightmarish, because they know more than the inspector.
Also, don't let your seller.
Yes, now here's the thing. So if you have a seller who is infirm, can't get out, then you have to, make
Work around.
amends for that, okay? But you might have a seller who says, I have 3 little boys and they all take a nap at 2, and you saying the inspector's coming at 1. That is correct. And typically, customarily, we don't allow the sellers to be in the house at the same time. This is the one day when the buyers are allowed to talk freely, although please don't.
Everything's recorded.
Because if everybody has a camera and recording device now. But it's the one day really when the buyers have a chance to muddle through with the inspector, to find out what's going on, to talk about it. I still now talk on the front driveway with my buyers, just in case somebody's listening. And just advise you buyers of that all the time. All right, the next part is to that, sorry, this is just all the preempt. If you have an inspection that's at 10 o'clock in the morning, what time are you going?
I'm asking the inspector.
Right.
Say around then, yeah.
Yeah, but
Ask
about
the
noon,
inspector.
depending on the size of the home, right? If it's a 5,000 square foot house, might be noon 30. If it's a 2,500 square foot house, probably noon. But you will ask the inspector's company what time you would be more beneficial to be there, and you will then tell that to the buyers and their fathers. The buyers and their fathers do not need to be hovering like this over the inspector. Let him do his job. This is ridiculous. How you've got buyers going out and listening and doing all that stuff, and the inspector has 3 inspections that day. He does 10 till 12 probably, drives to the next one, 1 till 3, drives to the next one, has a lunch, whatever. Your buyers really should not be there during the whole inspection. That is insane. So, are you all right with that?
Oh, no, I was.
Okay, cool.
She's
So-
thinking.
Yeah, no. So I'm like, okay, so the buyers show up at the last half hour and the inspector then goes through the report. He will, in the old days, you used to get a book. In the dark ages, you used to get a book with tabs on the side. And he would have been going around,
Summary.
remember? He would have been going around and writing it, and then he would pull out all of his pink copies to keep them. You would get the white copies and he would file the yellow copies with his. So, shh. Shame. But,
Just kidding, for those of you who do not know her.
these 2 of my friends, it's fine. Everybody in the room. So, all right, so now we get the inspection report, and this is why Sissy, the buyer, was asked to include Fiona, the agent, on all correspondence, because my guy gets it to me, or, I have 3, but I do have a favorite. No shame in that. And he gets it to me by that night. So we just had an inspection on Saturday, and it was done from 10 till 12:30. We got the report Saturday night at 8:40 p.m. That's okay. My due diligence is 7 days, because I knew I was going to LSU, so there was gonna be some traveling, and I didn't really wanna have to sit in a hotel all weekend. So, that being the case, oh, one more thing. When you're writing your contract and on page 1, you have, dates for closing. Yeah, okay, sorry. The buyers, so it's not a surprise or a secret. Hey, Cynthia, are you gonna be in town for the next 7 days? Why you wouldn't know if your buyers were gonna be don't go, Kern, please don't go, Kern, stay, okay. Just to embarrass people. No, it's okay, they have an issue.
You are riveting.
They have an issue.
Yeah, they're going to have an issue.
No, they have an issue on paper on my desk.
Oh,
So, yeah.
make sure.
So, please check with your buyers and know, again, like I said 1,001 times, you as the agent cannot go by yourself to represent your buyers to an inspection. You're asking for trouble. You're not paying for it, so stop it.
Don't do it.
What if your buyer is out of, like, lives out of town? What if they're relocating?
Then they have to find someone to represent them.
It doesn't need to be you. I know it's so easy to be you, but there's so many horrid things that can happen.
Yeah, let me push back a little bit on that.
Yeah.
Like devil's advocate.
Uh-huh.
Why? Because
Well, let me answer why.
I'm not negotiating anything during that time.
Here's
I'm
the
not-
thing, it's happened
Yeah.
before, okay, so here's the horror story, and it happened in Sandy Spring. So, when I was pieces, on a story, the clever agent, and I don't mean to disrespect, but the smarty pants agent went to the, inspection by herself, because she wanted to look cool in front of the buyers, they were big shot attorneys. That should have been your clue. So, okay, in bucket. So, oh no, I'll just go for you, okay. 1 point something million house, okay, fine. She was the eyes,
Mhm.
she smelt, she touched, where were they? Nowhere. So then she goes and does the report, gives it to them, inspector sends it to them. Everybody negotiates, the ATAC, everything's hunky-dory, blood. We close, they close. 2 years later is when it lands on my desk because the septic system backed up on a 1 point something million. And yes, it's septic because it's old. And ruined their hardwood floors. And then they found out also that the home had polybutylene. It was never disclosed. The
But
inspect-
what does it have to do with the agent? If the.
Well, hold on,
inspector-
hold on. So what happened was, the attorneys sued the agent for negligence and said, you should have seen it. You were there, I wasn't. They won, by the way, so you can shake your head if they won.
Either. It's,
It doesn't matter.
They
They
wouldn't have
were
your right.
there. It was their inspection. So our agent had to pay a lot of money to keep her license because the other side of the coin was, of course, they were attorneys. So of course, they had friends and deep pockets. So that agent almost quit because it was gonna cost a lot of money and she didn't have it and she was a single mom. And that was all because she wanted to look good and go. Now, if you can't go, send someone else. Okay, pay them $50, whatever. But you should be standing there, you represent them and you're getting 3% to do what? Just write a contract? You're supposed to be there to, in my opinion, to listen, to, not to guide, you're not a plumber, you're not an inspector, you're nothing special, you're an agent. But at the same time, if Julie looks at me and says, can you remember if it was the left window, Fiona, as I'm facing the house? Or the left window as I'm standing on the front porch that was fogged? Oh, I don't know. Can you remember what the inspector said about that pipe in the basement?
no,
Oh, I don't
hold
know.
the report. I'm not. Telling you straight up.
Right. So if you don't go to inspections, that's fine.
No, I do. I'm just saying, I had not heard until you said this a couple
Right.
weeks ago. That you cannot go, like if your client, oh,
You can't, let's clarify, you can go, you absolutely
Right.
can go, but are you exposing yourself to?
But I also write to hold harmless. You
right,
know, I'm a what if girl and as a broker, I see some horror stories. And then because I'm still selling and always will, then it's like, it's a double whammy.
right.
It's like crap, that could be me.
Right,
Right?
people will sue anybody and everybody.
Oh, yeah, the wind's going the wrong way, so let's just.
So is there a suggestion for that then, if you do have a client who's relocating and they would like you as their trusted agent to be there for them, you have them sign,
A hold harmless.
yes. Okay.
Mhm.
That'll do it.
So like, yeah, so in that case, like an investor or something, they are not ever.
No.
Right, right, so,
Correct.
so you're saying you could either go or not go at all, and just go, here's your report.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
boy for taking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold harmless or don't go.
Right.
You are not their eyes and ears. You can say all day long, I have a BBA and I'm held up to this high standard. I am not taking responsibility for a house that you're paying for. Thank you very much. If you haven't even got the gall to go to the inspection because you're too important, Mr. Buyer. Now, if someone's out of state, out of town, they may have someone here, they may have friends. I have some real clients at the minute, and the likelihood is that they're not gonna be here for the inspection,
Right.
but her best friend lives in Brookfield West. So, she'll be gone.
My question is that, what if your buyer is not going, then should we as an agent go or not go?
That's what we just said.
Go if you have a hold harmless agreement, fine.
If you go get a full harmless, or you just don't go at all.
Correct,
Okay.
correct, and like
That's right.
Cindy said, hey, you call the Mrs. Buyer if you have a question. Call the person you paid to do the inspection for your home, and I'll help however I
It's the
can.
same reason you give 3 lenders instead of
Yeah.
1 lender. It's the
Yeah.
exact same reason. It's
Yeah.
all about liability,
Yeah.
all about liability and protecting.
So, this is the backstory, so now we get into the ATAC, okay, yes? Hey,
Hold harmless agreement, is that one of the ones in Gar Force?
no, you just write your own, there is no hold harmless, or you can get one of the attorneys to help you write one paragraph. It's a form that they have to sign. So, yes,
It's very easy. It's a couple of sentences.
It is.
Kern can help you put one
Kurt can
together.
help you do it, she helped me do mine.
Yeah. It's
So,
very,
yeah, or whichever attorney you prefer.
yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, several attorneys. Pick your
Go
favorite.
ahead, next.
Got myself in trouble.
Writing a bulletproof ATAC. Okay, so you now have the report. Now here for newbies, okay, this is what you get. This is the real part. Okay, this is your inspection. Okay, so your inspection comes like this. Holy mackerel. Okay, this will all come as a PDF to your computer and you'll go, holy moly, how am I gonna get through all this? Well, you are. We all have. You're nothing special. We've all done it and this will keep on going. Your agent, your buyer will see this too. So now the thing is, they're gonna go through it. You have to explain to them, hey, and I had to explain to my first time home buyers when I was away this weekend, you're not going to ask for 27 things on here. There's a backstory to that. What is your client offered? What did you go binding with? Did you offer the full amount for the house? Are the sellers giving your clients closing costs? The sellers do not have a bottomless pit of money or time to fix whatever your buyers want. And if your agent, if the buyer's agent, remember I'm on the listing side as well quite often. You can see them trying to be so smart and wanting to look good in front of their clients. It's not my money. It's not the buyer's agent's money. Please understand, sellers do not have a bottomless pit of money. If they've already come down, basically, they're paying the compensation, check. They might not be getting full price, check. They may be contributing some closing costs to your client, check. They may be also doing a home warranty, check. And now your clients are gonna go after the leaky toilet, the squeaky door. Pick the big ticket items. If the home has a septic tank, you betcha. Get it inspected as part of your due diligence. time.
Water, anything having to do with
Water,
water.
electricity,
And buyers, you know, I've heard my buyers and say,
Yes.
I don't want you to freak out when this report comes back and it's
Right.
50 to 100 pages.
Right,
That
correct.
is very common.
Yes.
You know, they've got to tell you if there's a cracked outlet.
Yep.
And what we're going to be looking for are any health related and or safety related.
Absolutely.
excellent,
We're not looking for anything about cosmetic.
correct. So
It's
this
well
one
said.
is this one is 79 pages.
Yeah. They don't need to freak
So
out.
just pay. Well, now, in the part of it, you've got the 79 pages.
Summary. don't
When
you?
it, yeah, the last, from 69 to 79, get rid of that. 69 to 79 is the summary. And the inspector, who is KB, KBO and Ashley certified, make sure they are, is quite intelligent enough to put the nasties all in red on these. So this is really what I use. Yes, do I scan that? Because sometimes he'll say, please see item 2B15 on page 27. Well, he's not talking about this because this starts at page 69, common sense. So he's talking about the big one. So you have to go back and do your homework, okay? But really, everything that I do, 9 times out of 10 is because of this thing.
And I do want to add that y'all are conveyors of information,
Correct.
okay? You are conveyors of information. You are not decision makers, nor are you persuaders, okay?
No.
Your job is to give all the information to your client,
Mhm,
all of it.
mhm.
Step back and say, what would you like to do?
Right.
Because if you tell them to do, or if you advise heavily, it will come back on you. So give them the information, let them make the decision, and then you execute the decision.
But also, if they come back and their list is 30 requests long, you've got to.
That's a lot.
This is it.
You've got to tell them, that's not
Go
feasible.
back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
These are gonna be the most expensive
Mhm.
fix indoor.
And that's where it comes down to giving them the information, like she was saying, hey, y'all did not pay full price, y'all got
Right.
$50,000 off, so we probably can't
Right.
do this, so.
But here's what
Yeah, go ahead.
The other thing I like to do, for fire clients is after they get the inspection report, give them, there's a website you can put the inspection report into to give a quote for what the repairs are, in their area, so they have a general idea of how much it would cost to fix it themselves, or how much to ask for monetarily.
Great idea.
The seller's willing to do.
So my inspectors, 3 of them, that automatically happens.
Oh, okay,
So
good.
I get it, and it's perfect.
Yeah,
It
How
comes
cool is
with it,
that?
I know. Now, you've gotta be careful, because again, they were not there.
right,
So the amount that they give
and I do.
is often a lot less.
An estimate.
Like, I have one,
Yeah.
yeah,
Using those numbers because.
correct, because they're wrong.
They're gonna be below the market rate when they
Yeah.
start going out there.
So I've got rodent infestation in one of my buyer's things.
Yeah.
Previous to thinking, they're saying for exclusion, if anyone doesn't know,
So,
get ready,
so it's.
168.
Oh.
Big S. You know, you're
I'm
talking.
gonna go in there with a can of foam and a firecracker and then.
For 100. Firecracker. So yeah, 168 is rubbish. I think that might be just to pull up on the drive and open the attic door. I don't know. But, so things like that. But yes, it's a good point. So we gotta keep on moving because I'm not being here like, so we've got, the next, yeah.
I just have a question for, I know some people are probably thinking of it. When you have first-time home buyers, a lot of times they do ask you, what should I do?
Yeah.
So how do you handle those situations so that you're not causing a liability for yourself?
Right, I get them to, yeah, good one. So mine are first time home buyers for this weekend. So I said to them, hey, you're getting the report, text me when you get a copy, because I'm not gonna be on my email all weekend. They did, they're really cool. And, they looked at it and I asked them to give me, up to 12 things that they would like. 12. And they came back with 8. Then I go through it and I mesh their requests to what I perceive might be something. Because here's the secret potion, as it were. If you're gonna write 20 things, guess which ones the sellers are gonna pick? They're gonna pick the cheapest one. So you're gonna put in, which was some of them were, the buyer wanted the seller to put all the smoke detectors back up. No, when you have a septic issue. Because guess what? The seller's gonna go, oh, sure, we'll do those, but we're not doing the septic. We'll do the.
We gave you something.
Yes, yeah, exactly. That's the mentality. How greedy are your buyers? The seal on the toilet's gone.
The seal on the toilet's always
Like
gone.
that, right? he wanted me to write that on. And I'm like, no, because we have a septic issue and we have rats. So I would prefer to put septic and rats rather than, we don't have rats, we checked. But septic and rats, I think, is bigger money-wise for the sellers to be putting on their dime rather than my buyers. And hey, one of your fathers can fix the toilet and the other thing. Oh, yeah, that's a great idea, FJ. So I'm like, yeah. So that's how that goes. So something else. So here's, I'm very anal, but that comes from a lot of reasons. So when I write mine, I like to make it easy for the listing agent, okay? And mine on each inspection report, even on the summary, and I should have sent it to Rachel, but I didn't, and out of respect for her, I did not send it to her at 10:55 this morning. Exterior, it said, or let's see another one. Decks, porches, and patios. So what I do is, yeah, hang on.
I love it. That's where I'm
Good. I do titles so that the seller can go, oh, and it's all itemized. So this correlates to this. I don't jump all over the place. Yes, it takes a bit of time, but you know, you're getting paid to do the job right. So make it easier for the seller and the listing agent to go, oh, okay. So for example, mine is number 1, 4.1, seller to clean out completely the dryer bed. And that corresponds exactly to the one on here that is here. 4.1. 4.1 in here, and sometimes if I'm being particularly good, I write the page. But there should be no reason why things get done wrong if you got that. Number 2, 12.3, seller to trim tree limbs back away from the roof. Tree limbs can allow rodents into the roof or damage the shingles. Thank you. Now, he can do that themselves. Okay, they can do themselves. Where it comes to a licensed professional, you need to write that down. So a plumber,
Electrician.
structural
foundation.
well, the rat man has to be, yeah, the rat man has to be a professional.
rat man.
Yeah, right?
I was just gonna say, two big things that I see a lot that really needs to be addressed is not getting specific enough, where you say, please look at section B, look at, that gets,
Yeah.
when I see that, I'm like, okay, I can just look at this on that section and not do anything, not please look at, this needs to be fixed, and it needs to be fixed directly by a certified professional, and that needs to be in the contract, that you wanted.
Right.
Certified professional, and all receipts need to be received at this time.
Right,
Well,
so,
that Joe Schmo isn't fixing the toilet ring himself for you guys,
right.
you know?
So one of those is about the HVAC. That's a huge thing in an older home. So seller to have the entire system reviewed and completely serviced by a licensed HVAC technician as needed. See photographs for specific unit and age. Seller to have same licensed HVAC technician repair, replace all parts as necessary. He can stand there all day long and say, well, your burner's out, or you've got carbon monoxide, which is why there's a blue flame. Give him an act word.
You can also service it
Correct.
and
not fix
And
it,
not repair it.
Right.
not fix it.
So-
Gave him an action word. That's
Right, so if you're not willing to take the time and you're lazy and you just write seller to fix the HVAC, that's exactly what you're gonna get. The seller's gonna go to Home Depot or Google it and fix it. You've got nothing then, it's a warranty or anything else for when it goes bad.
Fix what part?
Right.
You know?
Just the part that he can see with his naked eye. Horror stories, okay? Horror stories. Oh, and to Raven's part, mine always says at the bottom, all receipts for the work performed above to be provided for buyer's review at least 3 days prior to closing for the final walkthrough. Thank you. Because why? Because I go with all the receipts to my final walkthrough, and you shouldn't be doing final walkthroughs because you're lazy just on the way to closing, that's stupid. You need to be doing it at least 3 days before
3 days
or the day before. I mean, just in case something's not done right.
Yeah, because that's
You
the
give
final
yourself-
out, that's the
that's-
final out for your buyer.
What are you gonna do if if you're closing it at 11, and I haven't got time to drive to Dawsonville twice in 1 week? Okay, drive it. If you get 3%, drive it, that's your job, they're depending on you. Cause you're gonna get stung in the you know what. So if you just drive on the way to your 11 o'clock closing, because you don't have time to go, let's go twice in 1 week. Then, you're gonna get messed up. Because you're gonna go with your receipts that you asked for, and you're gonna go, oh, the HVAC looks fine, yeah, do look, and it starts. Oh, but I don't see the, what's that tank called? Can't think of it.
Expansion tank.
Expansion tank, I don't see the expansion tank that we asked to be installed. Now, do you think they can do that in an hour before closing? So what are you gonna do? The big thing is nothing survives closing. Now you're gonna be a bit of a whatever, and you are going to sit at closing with an amendment to get the seller to sign and go, hey, you didn't do everything that we asked you to do, but it's okay because I still want to get my money and close. So could you do this after closing? And guess what? They probably won't. Or it's a nightmare to try and track it down. So that being the case, horror story. And I'm sorry.
Can we go back to HVAC?
Yes,
So you said the nice wording about how we should ask for the, repair.
yes.
Can you go back and say that?
Oh, sure. Let me see.
Raven, these come in applied.
Yes, so I'll have all these in the slides, and I'll check with Fiona based on what information she has
Sure.
in here and whatever.
All right, so seller to have entire system reviewed and completely serviced by a licensed HVAC technician as needed. Seller to have same HVAC technician repair or replace all parts as necessary.
To ensure safe, to ensure proper operation.
Well, yeah, you could, but I haven't written that. That's what I wrote. But yeah, you could do that, comma, to ensure, you know,
And then provide the receipts and.
well, that's at the bottom for everything. But yes, that's good. Now I'm gonna use his. So horror story, this is just a classic and then we'll shut it down. This is a classic. When I was probably 2 years in the business, I had a complete buffoon for a buyer who was mean to me constantly, but because I needed the money, I took him. And this was in Duluth, and it was an 800,000 house that was framed. It had a bit of brick around the front, but it was framed. And so luckily, my husband's best man's mum was the other agent from Harry Norman. And she was the one that taught me the expression, oh, he's just a horse's patoot. That's what she used to say, and I've never forgotten. But so I wrote in, so we had the inspection. Jerk man was awful to me. And what he wanted was all this. And I wrote the frame, you know, the frame was like, there was rotten pieces of frame, so it needed to be siding. The siding frame needed to be replaced. So all I wrote was, and this house was yellow. Bear that in mind. All I wrote was seller to replace all rotten siding. And that's exactly what they did. So when I pulled up 3 days, and this is a big house. When I pulled up 3 days prior to closing with Jerk-a-Lot sitting there, I'm like, oh my gosh. It looked like a patchwork quilt. Because that's exactly what they had done. Because it's my fault. I didn't go comma and repaint to match the color or repaint the whole house. This was huge. So I called Mel, that was her name, still around. with Harry Norman, and she goes, oh, he's just being a horse's for two. And I said, no, he's not gonna go to closing. Oh, and he was a reeler as well. So I was already being done for 32%. That's what we used to pay in the old days. 32%. I was on a 50-50 split because I was a rookie with Prudential. And now she's going, Fiona, my seller has already moved, which they had. We're not doing anything else. Why? Because this guy had been so mean to everybody that they were like, nope, not doing anything else. See it closing. We're doing exactly what he wrote. So moving forward, we get to the closing and my commission is this big because it's going out to everywhere. And I ended up having to pay close to $3,000 on my next closing because I didn't have the money. On my next closing, the lady like Lee at Prudential, she was called Pat Evans, had to take my next commission and give it back to the vendor. Now, they wouldn't do that now. The vendor's not gonna go, sure, Fiona, we'll come back out and paint your house and we'll just wait for the check whenever you get your next closing. No, this was a different time. So nowadays, you would probably be out straight away.
Yeah.
This needs to be fixed right now. This needs to be written down and we need it done within 7 days of closing. Otherwise, I'm not closing, Fiona. So was I wrong? Yes. Did I learn? Yes. Another one is, so if you're not going to be precise because you're in too much of a big fat hurry, you might want to get someone else to write it all up for you. That was that fridge. Seller to leave fridge. Yes, she's laughing. Which one, Fiona? So we go into this very nice house in Buckhead. Again, I'm now 3 or 4 years in the business. And yes, sure, 3 days prior to closing, they left the nice manky, rusty one in the garage. I know, not whatever one, fancy one in the kitchen. So what did I buy? Fancy fridge. Yeah, because that's my fault. So now you've got to be, and now even right, seller to leave fridge, a refrigerator in kitchen, if it's not listed on the seller's disclosure and it's not listed on the FMLS, therefore it's not listed, it's not listed, it's not listed. No matter what the agent says, it's not listed. Seller to leave refrigerator seen on today's date, 1st of October at 2:23 in the afternoon.
The picture.
Yeah, well, I don't, no, not in the purchase or sale. But I'm pretty anal with, as seen on such and such a date. And the agent will come back and go, you've been burned before, haven't you? I'm like, yes, I have. Never again. So yeah, so that kind of makes it. Okay, what happens if there's a problem with the septic? This is the last one. So this is a very good agent in our office had this, and it really taught me something. As I say, I'm still in the thick with you all. I'm in the trenches. I do the same as you. And then this gig. She is a very good agent, and she was on holiday, and she represented the seller. Buyers came, did their inspection. This is where I'm saying no agents were present. It said, they did the inspection. And during due diligence, and the inspector found that the septic system was shot and needed to be improved. So in the ATAC, the buyer's agent wrote, seller to have the septic system serviced. That's all she wrote. And our agent accepted that. So it works the other way. Please listen to what I'm saying. It works the other way. So our agent was on the beach having a nice spring break with her children.
So we both and everything or not?
Hold on. So we're negotiating the ATAC at this point. Suddenly I get a call sitting at that desk that the seller who has come home from a trip up north to bury her mother, comes back and a huge septic tank is on their front lawn. We're still negotiating. And no, we're not. The ATAC is done. It's sealed. And all it said was sell it to have the septic tank serviced. And what happened was the buyer's agent took it upon herself to not even call the sellers, to have the septic system serviced would require the whole of the pipes down the side to be lifted up because the septic was in the rear garden, right? So now this buyer, agent, and her husband have lifted up all the walkway so they can get the truck down the side. They've gone in, they've serviced it, and as the sellers are pulling in from burying her mum, the pink, whatever it's called, is pulling off. And the pictures, I can't even tell you. There was nothing, you see how it's on the other side? The seller had no recourse because the listing agent, who's a very good listing agent, I am not throwing her under the bus. We could have all done just as well, so do not try and get so hoity-toity. She didn't say that, you know, yes, it's gonna be serviced, but if it means it's gonna be more than such and such amount, we'll renegotiate. If my garden is wrecked, who's gonna pay for that? There was nothing in paper to say, yes, Mrs. Buyer's agent, you can come and rip up everything. It's a house in Myrtle. Rip up everything down the driveway and you don't have to put anything back and we'll pay for everything.
Yeah, I mean, Fiona, I mean, if you're presenting the buyer, the house is not yours yet, not even though you're under contract, it's yours.
Right.
You shouldn't be putting.
They didn't even tell the seller when this was
It could be a liability, issue could be so many things.
Yeah,
Everybody,
but our agent was also at fault.
he was too proactive, I guess, too proactive in doing it.
Just our agent was at fault.
Well, even if it was clear, it's not her responsibility. She's
Doesn't
not-
matter. Our agent was at fault. She should have written, well, I've got the money bill to prove it from the attorneys. So our agent was at fault because she wasn't anal enough. I'm just saying. She was busy. I get it. I would have done the same. She was busy. Was the buyer's agent at fault? Yes. Should she have made an appointment with the sellers? Hey, we're coming today to look at the septic. You betcha. Should she have called the listing agent who was sitting on the beach in Florida? Yes. Do you just show up with a huge big poop tank? No, you don't. And so it just got from bad to worse. The sellers were so upset with the listing agent, our agent, that they wanted to sue her. Our listing agent was so upset. The buyer's agent was like, well, we don't have to fix all the driveway. You never said we did. We just said we would go and service it. And, you know, the sellers would pay. We never said we would have to put all the pieces back together again. We serviced it, so we're pretty much we've done what we need to do. So it works both ways is what I'm selling. When you're the buyer's agent, you've got to be anal. When you're the seller's agent, you've got to be anal. You've got to say, but what if? I'm the what if queen. I said that to one of my buyers yesterday. I'm the what if queen. What if this happens? What if that there should be a comma after everything? And if buyer doesn't do such and such, comma, blah. If seller doesn't do this, comma, blah. It's just everybody at this point, especially with all this compensation malarkey, we're all very, very busy trying to earn a living. I'm not stupid. But at the same time, you've got to slow it down and don't look cocky. If you don't know what you're writing or if you need help, there's me, there's the mentors, there's other experienced agents who I can call if I'm on another line, who are more than happy to help you and go, here's the wording. I mean, Deborah's done 1,001 contracts and she's still humble enough to say, hey, what was that verbiage for the HVAC? There's 1,000 other things you can learn. And just like he just said, my little friend here, you know, I now will probably say, comma, yeah, you, comma, I will probably now say that that's part of his. I'm not stupid enough to realize I know it all. 29 years is hardly any time, really, when you learn everything every day. So, yes, go ahead.
I mean, I'm just kind of, it's really, it's not good practice in my opinion for the buyer to be doing anything prior to closing. Because
Why is that?
it's not yet in town.
Well, hold on a minute, listen, the big picture, come on now, listen to what I said with the story. Everyone has a life. The seller, where is she? I gave you this, no, I told you, where is she? She was at her mother's funeral up north. The listing agent, where is she?
On the beach.
Right? So they had a nice relationship. And she asked the buyer's agent to go ahead and sort it out. And they all said yes. Every transaction is different. Every person is different. So that is how they were doing it that way. No, it's not optimum. You're quite right. But it was just no one in town. So they were doing it as a favor as well for the poor seller who had other things on her mind.
Oh, so there was nobody present?
No,
Just the septic company that came in and they didn't say it was part.
and the buyer's agent,
Oh, the buyer's agent was there.
Yeah. yes, they did. It took an extra 2 weeks because of attorneys getting involved, but they did close.
Now, the other thing is if the deal falls through for whatever reason, you know, that is already in the seller's property, though, that's part of it. So,
Yeah.
so this is mine now, this is in my house, you're not allowed to come in and get anything here. And this is in my property.
But just not for the mess, right? Yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. Does anybody have any other questions for Fiona?
You call me.
Little guy.
My little friend, my little friend.
Inspiration for your week. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain.
Yeah. All right, keep dancing. Bye. Oh, we'll just do that best.